Hello everyone, I'm Soumya Vijay Deshmukh and I'm going to teach the plasma protein. This chapter would be dealing with the plasma protein in detail, so let's dive in. So let's see the formation of the plasma protein. In the case of embryo, plasma protein is formed from the mesenchymal cell. The mesenchymal cell gives some secretion or dissolution of some of the substances leads to the formation of plasma protein. Now I'm writing the short form as PP only. While in the case of adults, there is a liver responsible for the formation of all the plasma protein except the globulin. So the albumin, fibrinogen, prothrombin, these are formed from liver, but the globulin has it is formed from the reticulo endothelial cell. Also, it is like macrophage. How is macrophage formed? When monocyte from monocyte, yeah. Now, also the alpha and beta are there. It is formed from the liver. Plasma cells also contribute in the formation of plasma protein. Spleen, and and bone marrow. Also, the gamma form is formed from the lymphocyte. So this is something you need to know. So it's really very simple. Think logically. See, whenever I'm talking about the globulin has its role in defense mechanism. So most of the organs are actually also involved in defense, like lymphocyte, bone marrow, yeah, spleen. So like you have to know that thymus and bone marrow are the primary lymphocyte. That's how it is. Okay, spleen is the secondary. So yeah. Now also we have to know the forms of plasma protein. So forms of plasma protein are pre-albumin, albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, and prothrombin. So prealbumin, it binds to the thyroid hormone T3 and T4. Albumin is responsible for maintaining osmotic pressure. Colloidal osmotic pressure is also called oncotic pressure. Also, it helps. It acts as a carrier protein, and also it is helps in binding. So yeah. Now if we try to find the globulin, let's see the globulin in detail. So globulin has its in many forms. Like first of all, we will be seeing each form, like glycoprotein, lipoprotein, um, angiotensinogen, haptoglobin, haptoglobulin. Uh, there is sero. Just a second. Let's use the another. Ceruloplasmin. Then transferrin, immunoglobulin, other other things are also there like phytoin, coagulation factor. So yeah, this was all of it. And okay, yeah, I forgot one of the, that is heme agglutinin, agglutinin. Okay, so now let's find each of them and in detail and know how it goes. Yeah, now let's see glycoprotein. So okay, we have glycoprotein. Where we have seen it, we have seen in the on the cell membrane there was glycoprotein also. Even there was lipoprotein. Now it is like lipoprotein is having many of its forms, such and it is formed from, sorry, lipoprotein is formed from alpha 2 globulin plus lipid. So it is lipo from lipid and globulin. Yeah, that is protein. So it is lipoprotein. Also it is a water soluble, and it has its forms like many of them. I will show you. These are like HDL, LDL, VLDL, and chylomicron. Clear? Now HDL is high density lipoprotein. It is having 50% protein plus phospholipid plus cholesterol. Now it is having its role in bringing the cholesterol from the cells, other tissues towards the liver for getting rid of it, the getting rid of the cholesterol. So this is the function of HDL. Thereby it is reducing the risk of CAD, coronary artery disease. So we can, okay, fine, let's see this one then. LDL, it is having high glycerides, and it helps in cell membrane repair, form steroid, and also formation of bile. It has the role opposite to HDL. It is taking the cholesterol from the liver towards the tissues, right? Then comes VLDL, and thereby thereby it would be increasing the risk of coronary artery disease. Then comes VLDL. Now VLDL is also having high triglyceride, also high cholesterol, um, therefore fat. Okay, then chylomicron is having only 0.5% protein, and rest all is uh, cholesterol, sorry, triglyceride. Okay, so this is how. But now my question to all of you is that which of them is a good cholesterol and which of them is the bad cholesterol? So obviously thing is very clear. This HDL is going to be a good cholesterol, while LDL is the bad cholesterol. Clear? Now let's see further. Lipoprotein is thereby also, lipoprotein is having role in lipid metabolism, and also what, it increase the risk, increase what, I had talked about liver, about heart, and also I was saying fatty. So increasing obesity, increasing atherosclerosis, also increasing uh, liver diseases. Now what, see, I just didn't told you LDL, and LDL is what happens there, how CAD couldn't have more risk over here, because there is a blockage of the arteries. There is a plague formed if LDL increases. Okay, so thereby, now let's see the another uh, angiotensinogen. Now angiotensinogen, out of these globulin, I actually remember it by a technique, and how it is that always think like a is when, if we have something bad news, right? So we have two forms now, alpha 2 globulin or alpha 2 beta. So alpha 2 beta means 2 2, we got alpha 2 also and beta also, so alpha 2 beta. So we will be saying wow, it is too cool. So we will be saying like uh, we will be blowing whistle. So whistle is sitti in Hindi. So C for ceruloplasmin and T for transferrin. So these two are having alpha 2 beta 1 globulin. Keep in mind, okay? Because people get confused in this. It is quite difficult to remember in any other way if we don't use the mnemonics, but this mnemonics is quite helpful to me. And another one which I said is that is for if you have only alpha 2 with you, only alpha 2. So where it would be? So it would be in A, angiotensinogen, and H, haptoglobulin. Is it clear? Don't take it as hemagglutinin, okay? Hapto, okay? So angiotensinogen, now you are clear with A and sitti. Sitti is when alpha 2 beta 1, and A is when only alpha 2. So if we are seeing here angiotensinogen, so angiotensinogen is having what? A means alpha 2. Clear? Another one is, next one, what is it? Haptoglobulin. So haptoglobulin it is having again AH. So uh, alpha 2 only. Yeah. And then comes that haptoglobulin is actually for hemoglobin. It carries hemoglobin, and there are several of its function. I would like to tell you that first of all, it hemoglobin actually it finds controls or regulates the threshold of hemoglobin in kidney. How come? Because kidney, see, threshold is like always we know that body always try to maintain the homeostasis, but if sometime thereby it would secrete something or reabsorb something at the time of kidney, in the there is filtration, there is secretion as well, reabsorption. Yeah. um, so we need to know that there, if what amount of a matter should be there, so that body decides that it is that is it is getting toxic, I need to release it out. So that amount is the threshold. That's how the threshold mean. Okay. Then is that it see, all the points of hemoglobin would be related to kidney only. So kidney also it decrease the release of iron from urinary bladder. Okay. Third is that it is preventing damage to the kidney from hemoglobin. If there is free hemoglobin now, then there would be damage. If there is also, there is less haptoglobin. In absence of haptoglobin, hemoglobin won't be binding with anything, and thereby leading to damaging the kidney. Therefore haptoglobin reduces the damage to kidney. Now let's see the next one. It is ceruloplasmin. Yeah. So ceruloplasmin is C for ceruloplasmin and C for copper. So ceruloplasmin helps to transport copper and store copper. Again, if we know that CT is there, therefore it is alpha 2 beta 1 globulin. Clear? Then comes uh, heme agglutinin. See, heme agglutinin is something that the term itself is saying that agglutination occurs when there is a clumping of blood due to same antigen and antibody coming across each other. So it is the antibody against the RBC antigen. Clear? Then comes transferrin. Now let's see transferrin here. Now transferrin is helping in transfer of, see here, transfer of what? Fe, iron. Okay, so it helps for transfer of iron, and as the CT comes from here, so it is also alpha 2 beta 1. Clear? Then it is like how it binds to which form, Fe plus 3, and also it's two molecules. So one transferrin can bind to two molecule of Fe plus 3. Okay, then what role it absorbs? Transferrin absorbs the iron from through like in the digestion from the intestine. Also it helps in the transport of the iron, and helps to decrease the intoxication of the iron. Clear? So these are the roles of transferrin. Now next is our clotting factor. We know that what clotting factors are there in our body, and they are from alpha and beta globulin. Okay, Ig, immunoglobulin, IgA, we know all of them. Keep in mind G, A, M, E and D. So IgG, IgA, IgM, IgE and IgD. Okay, we will not see here it in detail, but soon on next chapter. Okay, then fituin as the word say fetus, like, so it is in the fetus for growth. Clear? So these are all of the globulins. One of the clinical aspect I want to tell you about ceruloplasmin copper. So here only we saw ceruloplasmin, that see if if there is deficiency of ceruloplasmin, so more copper ion would be there in the blood, right? And it would get deposited in the brain, in the liver, and therefore it would be causing destruction. Thereby it is lost in urine. Okay, now, okay, I forgot that globulin. I wanted to say that immunoglobulin is from gamma globulin. Okay, all right. And this disease of low ceruloplasmin, thereby accumulation of Cu plus 2, thereby accumulation of it or deposit in the brain and liver, and thereby it is being lost through urine. This disease is called Wilson's disease. Keep in mind, because it is important. Right? Now comes one of the famous experiment. This is the relation of diet to the plasma protein. So let's see. So in the standard plasma depleted dog, first of all we have to take out first of all let me tell you the name of this experiment. It is called Whipple's experiment. Now we have to take out the blood of the dog, and we have to put it in the Ringer lock solution. Now Ringer lock solution is nothing but it is just like blood, except it don't have plasma protein in it. Okay, so Ringer lock solution, and then again of the same volume, and then we will re-inject the fluid now inside the dog. So this is actually what going to do, it would be reducing the plasma protein. How? See, you know that it's like dilution, just to get a homology. I'm saying we were having blood which we initially took out from the dog. Then we had the ringer log solution with us. So it was not having the plasma protein in it, but the dog blood is having. So the plasma protein will move towards here in the ringer lock, diffuse, osmosis and all. Okay, so this is how the final, after all this, the plasma protein would be like evenly, and then after that, if you are again re-injecting this in the dog, then you can understand that the plasma protein has decreased. So this way we had re-injected, and this we did several times, and our actually motto for this, the aim was to decrease the plasma protein, and we accomplished it. Then now our like why we did it, it was because we wanted to know that can we compensate the plasma protein with the diet, yeah, like in the protein which we consume through diet. So we saw that after the 15 minutes, the as the plasma protein was initially decreased, after 15 minutes the labile protein is there. Labile protein, it it actually compensated for plasma protein. So this was one of the like emergency kind of situation. But if there is time duration of 2 to 7 days, and the patient is given the the dog was given the proper diet rich in protein, all the essential amino acids, so he could recover it. He recovered the plasma protein. So the two things are, the final thing is that in case of urgent, then there would be the mobilization of labile protein, while in the case of, if we are giving a protein rich with all essential amino acids a diet, then also we can compensate the plasma protein loss in 2 to 7 days. So this is the final result which we got. So it shows that in generally it compensates by diet only, yeah. But in the case of something like starvation, so it takes from the tissue the labile proteins. And we will see the three types of protein soon. If there would have been an infection, then it would not restore it would be difficult for the dog to restore the plasma protein. And if it goes like, do you know the normal range of plasma protein? So plasma protein is 6 to 8 gram per deciliter. But if it goes like 4 gram per deciliter, then it would lead to a protein shock. If 2 gram, then it would lead to a protein shock. How? Because protein would be decreasing, thereby decreasing the it would be the hydrostatic pressure is increased, but the colloidal pressure would be decreasing, thereby it would be exerting more pressure on the walls of the capillary, all the blood vessels. Okay, and now if the blood was withdrawn and it was treated with serum instead, then re-injected, so it would have caused no shock. as there is less loss of plasma protein, right? Now let's see the types of protein. So there is dispensable protein, indispensable protein, and uh, labile protein. So let's see, indispensable means fixed. It can't help in any compensation. No compensation. Okay. Then there is dispensable. Or reserve protein. Okay. It is for energy during starvation. Right. Then there is a breakdown of endogenous protein. In the case of like from the skeletal system, skeletal muscles or glands. Whenever there is a starvation, the energy is provided by this dispensable. They help. Now first let's understand the functions of the plasma protein. First of all, fibrinogen and prothrombin are important for the clotting of the blood. Secondly, osmotic pressure is being contributed by albumin. In the osmotic pressure, do you know what the colloidal osmotic pressure is inside the capillary? It is 25 to 30 mm of Hg. Now, there are two types of pressure, osmotic pressure. First is hydrostatic pressure and second one is colloidal osmotic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure is the pressure which is exerted away, like if this is the capillary. If it is moving outwards, and if this is a capillary, if it is moving inwards. Okay, now it could be, osmotic pressure could be exerted by whom? This is also the next part. So exerted by, again, two things. First is crystalloids, second one is colloids. Now crystalloids, it is urea, glucose and sodium, but colloid is plasma protein. Clear? Now there is Starling forces. Starling forces are which there are four types. First of all, they are like osmotic, colloidal osmotic pressure inside the capillary, hydrostatic pressure inside the capillary, colloidal osmotic pressure outside the capillary, and hydrostatic pressure outside the capillary. These are the Starling forces. Any force exerted on the capillaries are Starling forces. Now, in these we saw first of all crystalloids. In the case of capillary, you know what? Crystalloids, they just move, they can easily move out of the capillary into the interstitial space. Thereby, they don't contribute to the osmotic pressure. So the thing remaining with us, with it is colloidal osmotic pressure. So pressure also we saw, these are the pressure and exerted by whom, and the Starling forces. Now here again one more came, that Starling forces, among them the colloidal, the colloidal osmotic pressure outside and the hydrostatic pressure outside, they both are almost of same value and opposite in direction, thereby they cancel out each other. they're just like 2 to 3 of Hg. So the thing we are having with us is just colloidal osmotic pressure inside and hydrostatic pressure inside. If this is clear, I want to tell that what if colloidal osmotic pressure is there, which of the plasma protein contributes the most to it. So colloidal osmotic pressure depends upon the concentration, directly on the concentration, and inversely on the size and shape. More the size, less would be the colloidal osmotic pressure, and more the concentration or number of particles, more would be the colloidal pressure, osmotic pressure. Then albumin, as we know, is having the smallest size and highest in number, thereby it contributes 80% of the colloidal osmotic pressure. Now one more thing, as we are in the flow of seeing the plasma protein only, I want one more thing to tell you, that fibrinogen. Like here we need to know the viscosity. Viscosity is maximum contributed by those which is having greater shape and size. So we have fibrinogen with us, which is contributing the because of its irregular shape, it is having more viscosity. But okay, fibrinogen, but you know what, fibrinogen, 80% of the content of the blood is by albumin, and thereby very trace amount of fibrinogen is present, thereby it contributes less it contributes most, but the blood is having less viscosity. Clear? Then comes this was actually not the thing I want you to relate with this, but with the flow I went and I told you the at this point only. But I want to tell you about the colloidal osmotic pressure and hydrostatic pressure. Now let's play a game with this. Here there is a condition that from the heart through aorta the blood is pumped out with high pressure, and it was going through the artery, then it went into the capillary, and when it was in the capillary, as it is narrow lumen, thereby it was exerting more pressure, and as it was exerting more pressure, that is the hydrostatic pressure, which causing the blood to move out, and it's called hydrostatic pressure. And even you can see the direction and just tell me. Yeah, so it has had a greater magnitude also, but there is also some of the plasma protein over here, very less it was, so thereby it was colloidal osmotic pressure always stays 25 to 30 of Hg because of the plasma protein inside the capillaries, but the hydrostatic pressure could vary, thereby here its magnitude was less, thereby it was compared with it, and the net pressure went outside, thereby the fluid came here, and then as soon as the blood from here reached this part, its pressure decreased, thereby there was less hydrostatic pressure, and soon more plasma protein, like as compared, we are always comparing the both of them, hydrostatic and colloidal osmotic pressure. So as compared to hydrostatic, colloidal would remain the same though, but as compared to hydrostatic, it is more. So thereby there is more magnitude of colloidal osmotic pressure. And you can understand that this is clear win of colloidal osmotic pressure here. So just take two arrows. First is towards this side and second one towards this side, and that's how it is. So all things would be decided by the Starling forces, and yeah. So filtration is being promoted by the hydrostatic pressure, while absorption is promoted by colloidal osmotic pressure, because colloidal osmotic pressure takes the things inside the capillary. Okay. Now the next part is that we need to know a condition. Applied knowledge should also be there. So there is a anemia. Hypo means less, protein, anemia. So it's like proteinemia only. Okay. So what? Less protein, less plasma protein, thereby leading to less oncotic pressure, and thereby leading to what? Less oncotic, more hydrostatic. See here, if there was less colloidal osmotic pressure, here also, here it was like it clearly won hydrostatic pressure, but here the hydrostatic pressure decreased a bit. But even if that, here also colloidal osmotic pressure is again lesser as compared to hydrostatic, then surely the blood, the fluid couldn't be pumped inside again. It won't be going. Osmosis towards inside won't occur, and thereby it would be accumulated in this interstitial space, leading to edema. And if even this condition could occur if the permeability of the capillaries is very high, so all of the plasma protein would escape into the interstitial space, and again leading to edema. Stability of the blood is contributed by the fibrinogen, as it maintains the viscosity of the blood so that a proper optimum pressure of blood is applied everywhere in the blood vessels. And also the albumin, you came to know now that what if the albumin went out of the capillaries, did the things go in the right way? No, edema was caused due to that. So this albumin and also fibrinogen, they both are responsible for the stability of the blood. If the stability is not maintained, then it causes Rayleigh of RBC. RO, okay? Yeah. Also, one more function of the blood, let's see. Acid base balance, what we call amphoteric. That is buffer. Buffer is to neutralize thing. Okay, if blood is getting acidic, we know that we have plasma protein with us. Protein structure, you know what? Protein has its amino acid as carbon attached to hydrogen, attached to R, attached to COOH, and attached to NH2. So amino acid, amine group, acid. Here the acid, always you have to know that base is always ready to take H plus and acid is always ready to give out H plus. So COOH gave H plus and NH 2 took H plus to become NH3, and whenever it takes, it occupy a plus charge. So, and this minus. So, in this molecule, it is called zwitterion. If there is any change, like surrounding is having more H plus ion, who is ready to take it? COO minus can take H plus. Why? Can you see the negative charge? Negative positive attract. Again, it would form like this. So this is its amphoteric nature. And if any negative charge increases, negative anything, negative charge increases, like OH minus, if there is basic environment around, so it will go here and take H plus with it and form water. So neutralizing things is what our aim is. So this is accomplished by it, and 1/6 of the buffering capacity of the blood is contributed by the plasma protein. Also, we know that we have globulin along with it. Globulin is responsible for immune responses, especially the gamma globulin, which produces antibody. Then there are transport proteins. Transport function. Like plasma protein would combine loosely with some agents such as hormone, drugs, metal. Also, we saw what transferrin and ceruloplasmin, the globulins, they were helping in transport of like transferrin for ferrous and ceruloplasmin for copper. So then comes reservoir function. They also act as reservoir, like they form a light bond, loose bond with hormone, drug and metals. So this was all about this chapter, and I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, share and subscribe.